And welcome back to Psychotic PY Podcast. This is your host, Marissa, and Bridget. Obviously, the better sister is starting out first today. All right. So, Bridget, take it away. Episode 4, Season 3.
Hello, guys. Welcome to episode 4. So today we are talking about something that's important, hopefully, to our listeners, because I assume you're all women. It's
One
about
guy's like, fuck you.
yeah, it's about underrepresentation of women in studies and research. We have talked about this in season 1 a little bit, and I mentioned the book Invisible Women by Caroline Criado-Perez. Amazing read. I read it a couple years ago now. And maybe a few years ago. God, time flies. Anyway, and she gives you just the hard facts, like you're more likely to die in this, you're more likely to be injured this. She's literally tallied up the money that stay-at-home moms would earn. It adds billions to the GDP. It's insane. Like you could charge someone, it would cost you an astronomical amount to pay someone to do it like a stay-at-home mom does. And she just talks about like basically how people argue like equal work for equal pay, and she brings it down to the money, to the dollar, to the hour, everything. It's amazing. It's all just statistical, but in an interesting way. And you read it and you're like, oh, women really are absolutely shafted in this world. It's amazing. So yeah, highly recommend that read. So we're going to just talk about that a little bit because Marissa sent me something on Instagram, I think a week ago, where they're basically pulling stats from her book, and it's kind of like doing the rounds on social media, even though the book's been out for a little while. So I was like, oh, I know that. I read that. And it's all true. So yeah, welcome. Season 3, episode 4. Any life updates?
I hung out with Aunt Erin. Shout out to Yaya. It was fun. We went to go see You Got a Friend in Me kind of show. Don't ask me what their names are because I just know exactly what they look like and that it was really fun. And they kind of just talked about things. It's like a podcast live form of, things on the Real Housewives and stuff like that. Like I was telling Bridget before, they had a Damien come out, which is Tina Fey's good friend and reason why she created Damien in Mean Girls. So it was like pretty much the reason the character is developed. And let me say he is to a T Damien, even his name. And I just was a really nice night out. We had a drink after at Park in Rittenhouse Square. We went home and started a new show on Apple TV, which by the way, Bridget, in order to finish it, I need your login. Thank you. Love you. Kiss, kiss.
What show?
It's the new one with
The Studio.
No.
Oh.
It's the guy that loses his job. So he has to start robbing his neighbors.
My Friends and Neighbors.
Yes, that one. So good.
John Hamm. Is it good? I haven't started it.
Very good. And give me your login and we could just do it together.
My Apple TV ends in 2 days.
I will binge tonight. I won't go to bed. Give it to me.
they dropped the whole thing. It's not coming out weekly.
The whole season, to my knowledge.
Oh my God. Because Apple TV usually does weekly dumps, guys, like weekly episodes. I don't know.
Maybe they only dropped a few and you have to, I don't know. Either way,
yes,
let me go.
They start out. Yeah. Okay. Also, guys, watch The Studio on Apple TV. So good.
I'll have to do that too. Honestly, a little tidbit about me, guys. Don't know if Bridget knows or not, but John Hamm is actually one of my like older zaddy crushes.
He's
no
so
matter
hot.
no matter how old he gets, he's fine.
And he has a big penis. There's an Instagram called John Hamm's penis. It's huge.
I didn't know that. Now I'm gonna have to go search. But that's not even why I liked him. I just feel like he ages so well.
He is funny. He's hilarious. Even in like Bridesmaids, when he's the worst, he's still like so charming and adorable. Also, is his name Ted in Bridesmaids? I'm pretty sure it is.
I think it is, which makes it funnier.
Ted and I always joke about how like any Ted in any movie is always an asshole. Like Hollywood hates Teds. Or some Ted years ago fucked someone over, and Hollywood has not forgiven them.
You know what's funny? I love that part where he's like, "You're no longer my number 2," and she's like, "What?"
Yeah.
He drives away.
I love him in that. So even when he's an asshole, you're like, oh, he's so cute. No, I really want you to leave. I don't want to be a dick.
I really want you to leave.
I really want you to leave. Oh, yeah. So My Friends and Neighbors. Okay, I'll have to give it a little watch. But yeah, I'm sure Apple TV usually releases 2 episodes and then the rest is like a weekly.
I feel like I saw more than that. Not saying that it's the whole season. Maybe it's only like 3 or 4, but like I'll go as far as I can. Give me it.
Okay.
So cool. Anyway, so that was my life update. What about you, Bridget?
Life update. I mean, Theo's 7 months. He's starting to almost crawl. He's really close. He does these little planks. It's adorable. I mean, yeah, it's almost Easter, guys. Yes. I went to Palm Sunday Mass and he made little friends with the old ladies who help around church. He's so
Mhm.
adorable. He's being all cute.
Love it.
Um, but yeah, oh, you know what? Quick life update. An acquaintance of mine, because it's my brother-in-law's good friend, just had their first baby. Just like literally a few days ago. And I think it would be nice.
Brother-in-law?
My brother-in-law's friends will.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't know why John popped into my head. I'm like, what are you talking about? But yes, that would be your brother-in-law. I'm sorry. I'm not used to that. He doesn't have siblings, rest in peace, anymore. So I don't when you use that lingo, I just assume you mean John.
No.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, Will Melton. Um, so his good friends just had their first baby, and now that I'm like, mom, and I obviously have social media, so I see certain complaints that people make against like visitors. I think it would be nice. Oh, I sent her diapers already. Sent her a big pack of diapers. I'm like, you'll need these, girl. And the diapers came with 10 free packs of wipes. Crazy. Never
Wow.
saw that before. I know. So I sent that right to her house. But a lot of people say you should, instead of like going over and be like, "Can I hold your baby?" You should actually go over there and let the mom hang out with the baby and bond, and you just like
Mhm,
do a load of
mhm,
laundry, wash the dishes,
mhm,
help her do the pump,
mhm,
whatever, like all that other
mhm,
stuff. Literally just like clean the house. So I think I'm
mhm,
going to offer up my services and be like, "Hey, do you have a day where you're not doing
mhm,
anything? I'll
mhm.
drive on over. Literally, you can cuddle your new baby girl, and I'll just like do the other shit." Because I feel like that's what you really need. Because her husband's obviously back at work. I was very lucky. Ted had 3 months. Like her husband's, I'm sure, back at work.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah. I what I've learned is, yes, that's correct, but it's actually you should ask the mom because there are some moms, especially with colicky babies, that would prefer the release of like, I don't know, just like walking outside while you hold the
yes,
baby or feed the baby or just so like for me, it's per mother. I ask the mother, do you want me to come and be a maid and a chef and whatever you need? Or do you want me to help you with the baby and you get to choose what you want to do? I
yeah,
also always never come empty handed, whether that's I'm coming and I'm bringing a ton of food or you don't want any visitors and I'm sending trays of food. Helpful. Cooking
yes.
is just so
Okay, I
amazing.
will. I'm definitely gonna send this. So Will was like, they're dead chill, like they're bonding beautifully. She's a really chill baby, and I'm like, yes, but that's because she's a newborn. um, so I'm like, okay, because he visited already, and he's like, I didn't want to impose, but they said like, come on over, everything's good. So I might just
Cool.
be like, you carry on, and yeah, but I'll ask her.
Mhm.
I
It's
feel like
always a
that's so invaluable. Is like if you
mhm,
come with
mhm,
food or like you do the
right.
dishwasher, the laundry, like that's all the stuff that adds up. And then at the end of the
Mhm.
day, like when you put baby down for a nap, you're like, oh my God, now I have like 3 million things to do.
Yep. Well, Kimmy did with me because my friend Kimmy, if anybody doesn't know, best friend, love you, girl. Especially with Evelyn, she knew. She obviously, as an experienced person at that time, knew like ask me, right? And all I wanted to do because Evelyn was still sleeping like an angel, so it didn't matter whether she was with us or not. I was like, I want to put her in the car while she's asleep, and we'll stay asleep. And I want you to drive me to Shogun just to get out of the house. But I don't actually want to go in because that means I have to do hair and makeup and I don't have the energy. So I want you to just take me for fresh air, windows down, get the takeout, then drive me back home, and then we could have sushi at home. And she did it, and it was like so fun. Like I'm getting out of the asylum
You
today.
know what's funny is I haven't opened her message yet because it was just like 15 minutes ago. And I could already see she says like when I'm able to drive again, it'd be nice to meet up for a baby date. Like you just want to get out of the effing house.
Yes, especially in good weather. The best time is to have a baby in good weather. Oh,
Yes, I know. Spring has sprung, guys. So think
mhm.
everyone's just like desperate to get out. Speaking of which, we're carrying on with this life update for a while.
Sorry.
My husband, his birthday is this week, and he has the whole week off of work. He took off. So we just keep singing because today he didn't have to go into work. He worked the whole weekend, and we just keep going, birthday week, birthday. Like we went for a walk with Theo. We went to the pub. I had a little tiny beer, a little half pint.
Ooh.
Came back, fed him. Yeah, we just like, oh, he did like dad shit today. He mowed the grass and, did his little weed whacker. It's just like such a nice time. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. He has a whole week to, I mean, I say chill, but he can't really chill because I have Pilates and then book club tomorrow. So, bitch, you better work.
He is now your employee.
I know.
It's like that thing that was going around. You have been promoted. You're my employee.
I didn't see that.
It's a thing where it was like, you think you're getting pretty much in the situation like this. You think you're getting a break, but it's like, you have been promoted. I'll send it to you. You're my invaluable employee. And they didn't realize, because it's something similar to this dynamic where it's like, no, this is my family and I have off for a week. No.
Yeah, I know. I know. So, yeah, exciting times. Everyone's having a baby now. Everyone.
First of all, summer of babies, not just in my friend group, your friend group, and even acquaintances of both. I'm like, you're all giving birth June all the way to September, October? What the hell?
Yes, that is what I have. I have literally like babies from now till I'd say August for me. I think that it ends.
I'm in first week of October for me. But literally, my friends start all the way from June all the way to the first week of October. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's happening, man. We're trendsetters, you and I. And then our friends just, fall like dominoes.
God, you followers. Just kidding. We love you. They just, you know what though? They wanted to see if we could, do it without going mentally insane first. And they were like, oh, okay.
That's so true. Yeah, they're like, if they break, then we're not doing it.
They were raised under Jerry's regime. So if they can handle this, then we'll take it on.
Yeah. I know Ted keeps mentioning having a second one, guys. What? And I'm like, I know. I'm like, and yet.
Jesus, is he trying to have Irish twins? What the hell?
I think in an ideal world he would. He keeps being like 2 under 2. I'm like, it's not happening.
No, I think it's a beautiful idea in as an idea, but in reality, especially because the second are usually tougher and a bit colicky. No.
It ain't happening. Right. So those are the life updates. I can't think of anything else going on that's exciting.
One more. Bridget comes home in countdown 1 week.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, I forgot that. I fly in literally a week. So we're recording today on a Monday. I fly on a Monday. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Yay. And then we can record in person.
Yes, which ends up us just having a girls' day and almost forgetting to record.
I know, but I'm so excited. Oh my God. Yes, guys, I'm going to be in the US of A for a whole month. It's going to fly, but we'll try to make the most of it. It's going to be Mother's Day. I have a wedding I'm attending. I signed Theo up for swim lessons. So
I know Theo remembers my voice, but do you think he'll remember me?
I really hope.
I'll cry. I will literally.
I know, I'll cry too. I remember when Jack was like, I want to say 1. I came home once from Chicago. And he just, you remember how he used to like back up, like if you open the door, and I was like, Jack, it's me. Like I fed you all the time. Like I was there for you all the time as a baby. It broke my heart. And then he like warmed up and I was like,
And Evelyn would do this thing where you could be best friends with her one trip, but if there was a big enough gap, she would cry and hide in me or John until she warmed up again. And I'd be like, girl, you played with this person before for hours. What's wrong with you?
Stop defending me, baby girl.
So that's why I think it's going to happen with Theo, but
he's not 9 months yet, so no stranger danger. So I think he'll still be pretty chill.
Could be earlier with kids. Evelyn's came earlier.
Oh, damn.
Mom always thought it's because girls like mentally develop faster because she always seemed like more ahead than him that way. He was physically like walking and all that ahead, but like, mentally she seemed further ahead and with it, just like social cues and everything. And she could eat and pick things up faster. Potty training was quicker, just things like that. So, maybe it's a girl thing. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully my dumb son still loves you.
I will cuddle him anyway.
I know. Yeah. He could basically say gaga now. So, but yeah.
Is that his first word before mama and dada?
He doesn't, I don't think it's unintentional, but when he cries, he does say mama. It's like, mama. So I'm assuming it's unintentional. It's just like a sound he's making. I don't know. And when he babbles, he says gaga a lot.
It's so easy to say. But does it melt your little mommy heart and he's crying and calling for you?
I know. It does. And I hate when he does it because I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I just want to like pick him up and smother him with love.
Aww. I wish you could all see how she acted that out. It was very adorable. But yes, very smothering.
You just want to like.
Aw. All right, our life update has taken this whole podcast, so let's get to it.
Yeah, sorry guys. Okay, so the book is Invisible Women. The thing Marissa sent me is So women are 73% more likely to be seriously injured in a car accident, and I have quotes from her book up right in front of me now, and you're 47% more likely to be seriously injured or die in a car accident. Now, do you know why? I'll tell you why. It's because, and it's inaccurate for men as well, but it's more accurate. So crash test dummies only came in one form, the average 70-kilo man. Now, the average 70-kilo man has not existed since the 70s or 80s because men are way bigger now. But that's what they use, a 70-kilo man. And then for a woman, they were like, oh, yeah, just like replicate it. Okay. Then eventually women were like, that's not right. So in the 80s, maybe 90s, actually, it could be even the early 2000s, guys. It's like shockingly recent. They were like, oh, okay. So women and men aren't the same. We'll fix this problem. We'll take the child crash test dummy, which is 4'11" and 100 pounds, 4'11", 100 pounds, and we'll use that as the woman.
My good
And
lord.
so that is why women are much more seriously injured, or much more likely to be seriously injured or die in a car accident, because they don't exist. We do not have female crash test dummies. We have no idea what a car accident does to a female body. Now, you're probably saying, why don't they just make one for women? Well, for decades and decades and decades, modern research, because you can go all the way back to like the dawn of science, but women were like not even thought of then. So there's no point. You understand that. But modern research, when it's recorded and we read it still and cite these articles, they refuse to do research on women of, quote, childbearing age. So basically 12 to 55. They will not do any research on you because they're like, well, we don't know what it'll affect her eggs.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
women, we rarely have drug trials. We have no studies done on us at all. So any research you read, if it's not the latest, like I'm talking within the last 5 years when they started actually including women who are not postmenopausal,
Mhm.
if you still have estrogen floating around, it's literally within the last 5 years. Anything before that, if you're reading drug trials, anything, it's on men. It's on men and postmenopausal women. So it may not even relate to you. Perfect example, intermittent fasting. In the last decade, they've done a ton of research about intermittent fasting, being like, oh, it can cure type 2 diabetes and weight loss, all this stuff. There's actually research they just did. It's not a great decision for women who still have their period. If you're getting menstruation, if you're of childbearing age, it can be more harmful than good because you need certain amount of food throughout the day to regulate your cycle. You need these fats, you need these proteins. It's not the male body. It works differently. And it cycles. Obviously, that's why we have a cycle. So it's not like the male body where it's relatively steady state throughout the year.
Mhm.
Completely different for us. So intermittent fasting could make your health, worse. It could be a detriment to your health, unless you are postmenopausal. Just a little fun
Mhm.
fact.
In my field alone, or even yours, medical, behavioral, most studies done on animals are done on males or over
Well, see,
females.
how is that even relevant? They're animals, as if we're trying to like breed more monkeys.
Hmm. But again, why are we not evening out the ratio? Why are we sticking to more male, whatever it is, whether it's a rat, a bunny, or whatever it is? Not that I even agree with any of this because I think that's so cruel. But you know what I mean? In these studies across the board, in Bridget's field, in my field, it's mostly the male animal. And I just don't think that's going to help anybody if you're just focusing on one gender.
That is so interesting. So,
Mhm.
um, men are on average more than twice as likely to interrupt women as women are to interrupt men. Now, you probably could have, you probably could have thought of that,
Mhm.
how many times? And I think I would say growing up, it was so normal, you really didn't even think about it. You're just like, oh, they interrupted me, whatever. Like, that's annoying. But it's only
Mhm.
when I was an adult, like a over 25-year-old adult, that I was like, wait a second, it is actually only the boys who keep interrupting me. um,
That's
so frustrating. And it just comes from, and she talks about this in her book. It just
mhm.
comes from a position of I belong. And women never feel like that. It's very rare. Women feel they belong with other women, but in
Mhm.
a mixed setting, let's say
Mhm.
work in a
Mhm.
conference room where you're all pitching ideas, women feel like they have to prove themselves. At the gym, how many people have felt like this at the gym? I mean, that's why they invented WOW, right? Workout World, or Workout for Women, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Um, you're at the gym and you're like, I really need to use those weights, but there's a bunch of big guys over there. And if I go grab those weights, they're going to be like, oh, what does she need those for? And I
Mhm.
will say that's changed now. Obviously, a lot of women lift weights. But when I was like in high school, oh no, like you stuck to the cardio,
Mm.
girl. And that was
Yes.
what I graduated high school in 2012. Okay, that
Mhm.
sounds like a really
Mhm.
long time ago.
Mhm. Yeah.
But that's what it was, right? Don't you agree? Merce, like the 2010s, it was like,
Yeah.
no, 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 you stick to the elliptical.
Right, right. Even if like it was very common when girls wanted to just like lose weight for homecoming or prom, it was like cardio. Hit the cardio hard. Don't eat a lot in cardio.
Yes, and now I'm so happy it's changed. Now when I go to the gym, I'm always at the weights and women are always at the weights and it's totally normal.
Mhm.
But I mean, I remember being at Fordham and being like going to the gym and I had tons of friends. I knew everyone, it wasn't like weird, but if I'd be like, I just, there's too many guys at the weights and I need those weights, but like they're just going to look at me like, why is she here? So I wouldn't. And it was so effing annoying. But it comes from a sense of belonging. Men inherently always think that they belong and that no one is judging them. Not all men. Obviously, there are men
Yeah.
with anxiety. I'm not discounting that. But more likely that women without any anxiety feel like they have to prove themselves in a room unless it is a room full of only women.
Right. Mhm. I agree to that. Absolutely.
Shocking. Now, another really interesting thing from these are things you don't even think about. That's why I totally recommend this book, guys. You'll fly through it. You'll be like, it's about statistics. No, you'll fly through it. It reads like a novel.
Mhm.
So, stupidest thing, bricks, the common brick and cinder block, they invented to be the size of an average man's hand because bricklayers obviously were men. So they
Mhm.
pick up a brick, put it down. Women, there are female bricklayers in the world, obviously. There are women who work in construction. They struggle. We have smaller hands because we are, on average, smaller people. So they struggle and it makes them slower. You have to pick it up, it might take two hands. So you're working at a slightly slower pace. This inherently leads to men being like, oh, women can't do construction jobs. They're too slow. When the brick was made for your hand, that's why you are able to succeed. If a brick was made for a woman's hand, we would be better suited to the
Mhm.
job. So don't just say, oh, it's just because we're better at it. It's you're
Mhm.
better at it because the world was designed for your body. That
Yes.
is why you're better at it. Offices, they set the temperature to the optimal temperature, like 65 degrees. It's cold. They set it for the optimal temperature for the male body to work throughout the day. That's why women go bundled up to work. Not Marissa. She's like, bitch, I love the air.
Man.
But women bundle up. They're freezing. This is also in the book. I'm not just coming up with this. And when your hands are cold, Marissa, and you like can't type because you're like, I'm so fucking cold. Like you
Mhm.
literally, your shoulders are up to your ears.
Mhm.
It slows down women. It slows down their productivity because now they're going to the kitchen, the kitchenette. They're making more coffee. They're making more tea. They're putting their sweaters on. And then they literally cannot type as fast because they're so cold. And men will be like, what's she doing? Getting her third cup of tea. And it's like, I am freezing. Can we
Yeah.
meet in the middle here? But the office space was designed for this optimal temperature for the male body during the day. I'm trying to think of the other ones just off the top of my head. This book really stuck with me. It's incredible.
I have a few things from my sphere of the world.
Oh, good.
Uh, so for, just diagnosing and everything, ADHD in women underdiagnosed because of internalizing symptoms. So anxiety and inattention sometimes are less visible, and boys are obviously easily more able to become diagnosed because they have externalized hyperactivity, which can be seen. So they get the diagnosis more. Now, this is just one example of many things in my field I could go into where there's just a misrepresentation.
I've read the same thing about autism spectrum. Would you agree with that? It's because,
I have
yeah.
that here too. Yep. It presents differently in women, and sometimes it's either it's diagnosed way later for them or missed completely, according to their male counterparts. Mhm.
And that is because, well, I don't know if this is true, but this is what I read. It's because women have better people pleasing and social skills, so they can hide autism. Whereas if there's a boy with autism spectrum and you're just not entertaining him, he'll
Mhm.
let you know. And you're like, that was kind of an odd comment.
Yep,
Maybe.
that is exactly why you are 100% correct.
Sweet.
It's right on the
Um,
money.
yes. Okay, I remembered another one. So this is the most common. We hear it all the time. Atypical chest pain, like atypical heart syndrome
Mhm.
conditions. We call it atypical, even though women are 51% of the population. Atypical, guys, it literally just means presenting like a woman. We are the majority technically. How is ours atypical? Why is ours not typical? I get it. Generally, men presented with heart attacks, not anymore. Also, we miss so many myocardial infarctions in women because we're like, no, it's not the typical left arm pain up to the jaw,
Mhm.
elephant on your chest. Women don't, they can, but they tend not to present that way. Can we stop calling it atypical chest pain when it just means female?
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, I agree. Um, I know you were talking about hormones and everything a little bit ago. Because of that, longstanding tendency to interpret female emotion through a pathological lens. So if a woman is expressing anger, they could be labeled as hysterical or borderline more readily than the men showing similar behavior. So a lot of things are blamed on like our hormones and our emotionality. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. take a back seat.
Absolutely. The classic is female athletes. They help, what is it? Last year, they tried to make that whole like Angel Reese and, oh my God, guys, don't judge me, but the other really good basketball player. I don't watch WNBA, but those two college grads who now play for the WNBA, they were saying there's like a big feud between them. It is literally just competitiveness and passion for the game. Like if there were two males playing at that time for March Madness, like yeah, obviously they wouldn't be getting along their opponents. Like they're not on
Yes,
the same team.
absolutely.
Is her name Caitlin
Um,
Clark? Caitlin
I
Clark.
don't
Oh my
see.
God,
I'm
guys,
like
don't
you.
judge
I
me.
don't
Don't
know.
judge me.
Don't follow it. But I would love to see the what people would say. Okay, so obviously I could speak on this only because my husband is an avid Devils hockey player. So it's very well known that they fight, right? And they love it. The crowd goes for it. The referees are trying to break it up. If this was predominantly women, what would people love it? Would the crowds love it? Or would they be like, oh my God, she's crazy. Calm down, hormones.
Yep,
Like
they
it
would
just
call them crazy, and the lead up to the game, they would be like, "Oh, so and so hates," so they would like stir up drama just like they did with these basketball players. It's so embarrassing. Why is everything always reduced to some sort of like drama?
Mhm, mhm. But I noticed though, through any generation in time, when men display physical behavior, it's like rewarded. Like, yeah, he had to show it, he had to make his point, or he was
Mm.
defending his woman or his property. It's like praised, but with women, it's like, calm down. That are you emotional? It's like what?
And they'll also be like, "Oh, you're like you're white trash, like you're
Yeah,
catfighting or something." You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Hmm. But I
Mm.
mean, change the gender, and people are like, yeah, he had to. He had to show him who's boss.
It's very frustrating.
It is interesting. Hmm.
Pisses me right off.
We're about to go fight our husbands for no reason. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Feeling emotional.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because there are so many examples like this, and I mean, honestly, like, I cannot recommend this book enough because the
Mhm,
certain things you just literally did not even think about, and you'd be like, "Yeah, wait, why are women, like, slower at this?" or whatever, and you go, "Oh my god, the world around us was specifically catered," and they'll say, like, it's not like, "Well, it just happens to be." No, 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 they have, like, the facts. They have, like,
mhm,
the blueprints of whatever they made. It was designed for a man, and they're
mhm,
letting you know that. And then I
mhm.
guess they just thought like, oh, women would never work, and I don't know. I don't know.
I honestly maybe they just never went back to start from scratch and be like, all right, let's try this avenue now. Nope, they were like, that's good enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and taking our lives so lightly as to not even have test dummies that are proportions is insane.
Mhm,
Like, okay, it's one thing
mhm.
to be like, well, she can't lay bricks, but to be like, well, she gonna die in a car accident. Like, what the? You have so little regard for our health and safety.
I mean, it is scary to be honest. I don't want to think about it. When we were like discussing this in a DM, she DMs me, guys. I feel old when I say that, but I was like, I don't feel. I wish I didn't know that. Could you make me? Can we go back in time? Erase my memory like Men in Black because I don't want to know that.
I know. I actually, because I was just like, oh, it's going to be like, this book's just going to kind of teach me sad facts I already knew. But when I read about like health and safety ones and how drugs could literally have potentially life ending side effects, but we don't know because we don't test them on women.
Mhm,
Oh my God. Like most adverse reactions to drugs are reported by women. A, we report things more,
mhm,
but B,
mhm.
we were having more adverse reactions, side effects because the drug was not tested on a woman.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, no, that's rare." Okay, well, if it's happening to enough of us. Um, but I was like, "Oh, I really wish I didn't know this because now everything you really have to be so strict and you can't be like, "Oh, well, it says it won't cause this." Mm. And a man.
You know what this has got me pondering as you're speaking? I don't feel like there's an equivalent to when people say Karen, right? Like you're, oh,
Mm.
she's being a Karen. Now, granted, disclaimer, yes, there are those that fit that description. You're like, oh my God, she's being ridiculous. But then there are women who maybe just be voicing a concern and then they're labeled as a Karen. But what's the male equivalent?
Yes, that's so true, as if men don't complain. Because let me
Right.
tell you, they do.
I feel like we need to let's make a name right now. Let's put it out in the universe. What are we going to give it? Kevin. Is that seem, yeah.
Kevin! Ooh, I was gonna say a Brian, but a Kevin.
Don't say Brian. We have an Uncle Brian. That's
Oh,
not
yeah, I
nice.
don't know why that came to but Brian with a Y. Uncle Brian's with an I.
Okay. So it's either
But
Brian
Kevin?
with a Y or Kevin. I feel like a Kevin might be. I'm sorry if I am forgetting any Kevin that we know or
I
are
know,
related to.
sorry, but Kevin, yeah, why not? Well, the only Kevins I know are actually really chill, but
I know. Okay, maybe we gotta change it up. Who do you like, a Chad? Chad?
Dylan.
Brad. Brads are annoying. We should do Brad or Chad. Dylan? I feel
Okay.
like Dylan's kind of chill. Usually smoke
Oh,
weed.
okay. I don't
Mm,
know, just the name bothers me.
no. You guys, you need to make this a question on our IG and let's survey. Let's do a fill in.
Yeah,
I want a good name, and then we're
Carter.
gonna thing. We're gonna make it a thing, guys, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna start this name. They need a name.
They need a name. They need a frickin' name because let me tell you, Bryce.
Keith. Mhm.
Keith. They need a name because men complain about shit all the time, but when they do, it's like, well, it's a legitimate concern. But when women
Mhm.
complain, they're like, will you shut your trap? And it's like, no, I will not shut my trap. Okay.
I can't believe I just realized that. Why is there no? This is making me angry that there's no equivalent. Actually, son of a bitch.
Yep.
Anyway, now that I'm riled up and about to start a fight with a random person,
Back.
ah,
Guys, I'm stretching. Sorry, my back.
she's got to go to Pilates this evening, so she's got
Yeah.
to get
I am
limber.
going to Pilates this evening. Hopefully that loosens me up a bit. Guys, anyone from England, shout out to Pilates on the Wolds. Is a friend of mine, Ginny. She opened it. She is a mom. She has a daughter who's a year old now. She's absolutely killing it. And yeah, so she just started this endeavor because she had a career. I don't know if she still works there. And she just thought, with being a parent now, going into the office just like wasn't going to work feasibly because
Mm,
her husband is a farmer, like a full-time farmer. So in the
oof, yeah.
summer and stuff during harvest, he works till 2 in the morning. So
Mhm.
there's no way, like she just,
Mhm.
couldn't.
I get it.
So she completed her Pilates training. She started Pilates on the Wolds, and yeah, it's booked. So yeah, anyone in England in the area in Lincolnshire, shout out to the Lincolnshire crowd. Go to Pilates on the Wolds Mondays in Holton.
I always find it amazing that we're obviously amazing without kids, but it is a very common theme that a mom can literally switch directions and career paths after having kids and be extremely successful. So you're talking about Ginny. That's how I started my therapy business. It's just
Mhm.
like we're able to like pivot and just like overcome and then like rock that shit.
I know. Another weird thing, and I don't know if it's motherhood related or what, but like I have never felt more like empowered as a female and more like proud of our
Mhm,
gender. Like as when I
mhm,
A gave birth, like
mhm.
unmedicated, like that blew my mind. I was like, who did that? But B also just like care for Theo like a mo effing boss. Like sometimes you just have those days where you're like, bomb, bomb, bomb. Like you are
Mhm,
firing on all cylinders. You've
mhm.
problem solved. You have planned ahead, and you're just like, I can kind of do anything.
I'm amazing.
Yeah, like, it makes you use different parts of your brain. Like, I
Mm.
and Marissa can probably attest for this. Like, I am a terrible critical thinker. I don't critically think. Being a parent has made me use that side of my brain. Like, to me, I'm like, if plan A doesn't work, well, that's it. But now I have, like, plan Q.
Oh, well, step your game up because I'm on Z, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. What I think motherhood has done for me, and this should be another IG post, like let's read them. But my friends will attest to this. I was someone who definitely cared what others thought, to the point where I would, Bridget, like you'd be like, oh, just stop overthinking it. Who cares what she said about you, or she didn't mean it that way. But I was overthinking and hurting my own feelings like an idiot.
Yeah, you do.
And I was always like self-conscious. And even when I was at my skinniest, I was still self-conscious. But like I became a mother and I just don't give a fuck. Like Nicole would be like, we would visit you on any given day that was planned. She's like, it's not like we walked in on you unexpected. Like we planned this for weeks. You knew we were coming and your tits were out, breast on the pump. And then even when you were done, you were slow to put your tits back. And she was like, we were like, you want to get dressed? And you'd be like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Marissa used to care so much. Like even when you were like in high school and you just got your license and stuff, I remember driving with you, and you do take things personally because you're like such an empath. And I know people overuse that term, but you really like feel it all. Yeah. And I remember like someone like literally, like we live in Jersey. Okay. Like people are assholes on the road. They're not good drivers. And literally just someone like maybe cut into her lane and she's like, not today, Blue Hyundai. Like took it so, she's like, I see you. And I was like, Marissa, like it's fine. You just got to get over it. And you were like, that Blue Hyundai did it on purpose. It's like, all right.
I can still be like that, but I'm definitely more regulated now. And also I know it's not personal. Even when I might initially act like it, I can talk myself down. But like I remember when I visited you 2-3 years ago in London, and someone, when we were having tea, our mom saw someone talk shit saying I was being like a loud American or something. I don't know.
I missed that, but yes, I think that happened.
Again, I didn't even see this, and yet I took it so personal because we got back to the hotel and I was repeating the thing that my mom told me, and I was in the bathroom, remember, with you, and you're like, Marissa, like, who gives a fuck? You're never going to see this person again. Yes, we are genuinely louder. Not only are we from USA, but we're from Jersey. We're Italian. Yeah, because they look like, honestly, I'm speculating. They look like they were from like Denmark or Finland, like a quiet little, Sweden. And they just were they're talking, even though I could touch them. Our seats were so close, and yet they sounded like they were whispering, but it was their normal tone. So yeah, anyone would seem loud to them. And I took it so personally, and Bridget had to just like, metaphorically slap me out of it, and she was like, shut up, bitch, go to the bathroom, let's go our next itinerary thing, let's go.
We are loud. It's fine. Where people call me loud here all the time, and I'm like, that's true. And I'm deaf because of it. Like our bass volume is so loud that like when people speak at a different volume in England, I'm like, what? Like speak up, girl. My hair cells are broken.
Me too. There's so many times where like they talk normal, I could tell, but I'm like, it's what? And they're like, do you want me to scream it? I'm like, yes.
If you're not yelling at me and threatening my life, shout out to our mother, then I can't hear you.
Don't respond to any other time.
Yeah, I need to be genuinely fearful of what you're going to do next, and then I'm listening.
Then my attention is there, all of it.
Exactly. Then I'm like, ooh. You rang fire?
That's so funny. But yeah, so like, yeah, back on topic to what you're saying. I did take it. But motherhood did that to me, where it's like, again, I have my moments, but I genuinely definitely care less, for sure.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, you have to, because you don't have the energy to focus. You don't have the brain space. You don't have the energy. You don't have the caloric intake, girl. You is always hungry. As we were recording this, I had my first real meal of the day. It's in England. It's 6:30 now, but it was like at 5:30. I had like a little snack in the morning. I had tea for breakfast. Like I've been busy.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so let's definitely put it out there, guys. I definitely want to know. She'll also put this on IG in case we all forget. I want to know a good male name for Karen. We need to give them an equivalent. And what has motherhood changed you? Or if you are not a mother yet, in the process of being a mother, have you been surrounded by family or friends that are mothers? And do you feel like they've changed? How? We'd like to know.
The answer is yes, but we want to know how.
I want to know. But as always, thanks for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe to Psychotic PY Podcast on all of our socials, and especially YouTube. We love you.
Yes, we love you so much. Thanks, queens. Bye.